गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स, मैं भावना कुमारी आप सभी का स्वागत करती हूँ अपने यूट्यूब चैनल एडुबंच में। सो टुडे वी आर टेकिंग अ साइंस सब्जेक्ट क्लास 10th and chapter number 7, control and coordination. So here you are able to see my screen. I am just sharing my screen with you to explain the content in this chapter. So first of all we have to look what we have read in this chapter. So our content in this chapter is introduction, system for the control and coordination in animal, nervous system, receptors, neuron, functioning of the neuron, part of the neuron, synapse, reflex action, type of responses, need for the reflex action, human neuron system, nervous system, brain and part of the brain, and then after working of the brain, coordination and control between the nervous organs and the limitations and hormones generated by the plant and animals. So now we have to be continue with this first topic. So here our first introduction is, as you know, the all living organisms respond and react to the change in their environment around us. As you know, the animal, when we animal is just hunting another animal, so they are just running after them, so they are responding towards their food. Now the change in the environment to which the organism respond and react are called the stimuli. It means like when we are feeling the heat and the cold, we are just protecting ourselves from the environment, and we are just find out the shade. And we if we smell something bad, so we are just putting our nose away from that particular things. So these are the stimuli who are initiate the response amongst the animals. Both plant and animal respond to the stimuli, but in a different manner. As you know, the animal can run, but the plant can't run. So this is a difference between some more difference we are discussing in this chapter also. The system of the control and coordination in the animal. Control and coordination in an animal is done with the help of main system. As you know, we have the different type of system in our body who help us to be do the various works. We have the two system, nervous system and endocrine system. Now we will discuss about the nervous system first. Nervous system and control and coordinate are provided by the nervous system and the muscular tissue. It means our nervous system is responsible to be give the command to the our muscles and the other part of the bodies to be control their functioning. And the nervous tissue is made up of the organized network of the nerve cells or neuron. As you know, we are having the different type of cell. The nervous cell is called neuron, which is specialized for conducting information via electrical impulse from one part to the another part of the body. Now receptors, these are the specialist tip for some of the nervous system a cell that are detect and the information from the environment. As you know, our receptors our sense organs, our skin, ear, nose. As you know, we will hear the different type of sound and react towards the sound also. So our sense organs are basically our receptors. Our skin, when we are feeling touching something and we are feeling hot, so we are just take our hand back. So skin is also a type of receptor. Nose, because they are give us the olfactory receptors. It means the smell. We will detect the sense of smell and decide the thing is good for us or not. Is we eat the taste, when we are having the tasty food, we smell it first to judge this. If the smell or the fragrance is good, then we will eat. And the tongue is the gastric receptors. It means they help to be identify the taste. Now we will continue with the next topic, and our next topic is these chemical cross the gap. As you know, how can it is wait now part of the nervous system first. Now my screen I think visible in front of the you. So it's okay. Now size is okay. Now part of the neuron, as you know, the neuron are having a structure. In the ninth class we already read about it. The dentine it acquire the information. Now we are reading the part of the neuron. Dentine it acquire the information. Cell body is the second part of the neuron. The information acquired by it travel in an electric impulse. It means our signals from the dentine are passed to the cell body in the way of the electric impulse. It means electric signal. Now axon is the largest fiber on the cell body. It is called axon. It transmits the electric impulse from the cell body to the dentine for the next neuron. It means many neurons are connected with each other, and the axon are responsible to be send the signal or the information to the body by the another, and it transmit to the another neuron cell. Now synapse is a gap between the nervous ending and the neuron dentine of the another. It means synapse is a gap between the two neuron cell, and here uh, the electric signal are converted into the chemical signal for the onward transmission. It means for other neuron, the electric impulse are converted into the chemical signals. Now reflex action. How can we identify the reflex action? As you know, now I first want to show you something. Reflex action are the quick and the sudden immediate response. Like if you have some iron nail is just hurting your leg, so you're just putting your leg in back instant of the time. Now stimulus, it observe and detectable change in the external environment. It means our body is just analyzing something is wrong or hurting our leg. Now reflex arc, because the path through which the nervous impulses passes during the reflex action is called reflex arc. मतलब यहाँ पर आपका receptors like heat. If you are feeling heat, the receptor is a skin receive the sensation of heat. Now it sends the signal to the spinal organs. Now spinal organs are यहाँ पर effectors organ, it means muscles, and response by the hand. It means here the signals is not passes through to the brain. Here the spinal organs are decided and give the response back. We are taking our hand back. So this is the path. Now here, with the help of this diagram, we have to be observe it carefully. Now here we are feeling hot when we are touching the utensil. Here with the help of the neuron cell, our signal is passes to the spinal organ, which is connected to the spinal cord. Now if spinal cord is sending the signal back and to the hand, and we are just taking our hand back, it means here the signal is not going to the brain. So this arc is called reflection pathway or the reflection arc. Now we are just moving to the back to the next slide, and our next slide is, as you know, these are the wait beta, look here this diagram carefully. Neurons muscular junction, it means where the neuron cell are connected with each other. Now these chemical cross the gap synapse. अब यहाँ पे देखो गैप है आपका, गैप is given one neuron cell attached with another neuron cell. Here is a gap is called synapse. It means the impulse of the dentine, यहाँ से आपका जा रहा है, dentine is getting the signal and they are just making a impulse, and axon will be send the signal to the another dentine cell, which dentine of the neuron cell, and here the another, when the signal is passes to the another, it get converted into the chemical changes, or there is a chemical energy will create which send the signal to the chemical impulse will be generated. Here the similarly the synapse finally allow the delivery of the impulse from the neuron to the another cells such as the muscles or the cell guard, because the cell Here the message is passes through the axon, and when the brain is giving some instruction, so this is also sent back to that similar muscles. Now next we have to be discussed the next topic, and next topic is here. I want to make it bigger because I want you will read it clearly. Now it is visible, I think, for you. Now what is a reflex action? Reflex action is controlled by the spinal cord. It means the withdrawal of the hand by touching the hot object is sent by that signal is sent by the spinal cord. No need of the reflex action, because when the signal is passes to the brain, it takes the time, and maybe some sudden accident will be occur. Now, in some situations, such as touching the hot object, pinching, it means hurting of the iron nail, we need to be act quickly, because it can harm our body if if our body is taking time to be give the reflection or react back. Otherwise, the body would be harmed. Here, the response is generated from the spinal cord instead of the brain, because brain are when the signal is passes to the brain, it take little bit more time. In this way, the time of taking action is reduces, and our body is safe from the injuries. Now, human nervous system. Human nervous system is consists of two parts: central nervous system, that is denoted by CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, which is denoted by the PNS. The central nervous system consists the brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system consists of the cranial nerves, which arise from the brain, and the spinal nerves, which arise from the spinal cord. Now it means our brain basically consists the two type of nervous system: CNS, central nervous system, and the peripheral nervous system. And now the human brain. As you know, the human brain is a center of the main coordinating center of the body. It means that is basically this is responsible to be work of the whole body. Now our brain is divided into three types: forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. Now I just want to show you the figure of the brain. Now look at this picture carefully. I think it is visible. Wait, I just make it. Now I think now it is visible for you. Now forebrain. Forebrain is a front part of the brain, and now next is the midbrain. Midbrain. Now here the brain is having the different parts like forebrain, cerebellum, and the skull, midbrain, spinal cord, and the medulla, and the pituitary gland, hypothalamus, and hindbrain. Hindbrain is having these three parts: pons, medulla, and cerebellum. And the forebrain is having these three parts: cerebellum, skull, and midbrain is this, and the spinal cord. Now here the pituitary gland is also given, and now we will continue with the forebrain. Now here it is a most complex and a specialized part of the brain. It consists the cerebellum. Now functioning of the forebrain. Forebrain is helping us to be think. It is a thinking part of the brain. It controls the voluntary actions and store the memory, receive the sensory impulse from the various part of the body and integrate it, and center of the associate with the hunger. And now next is midbrain. It controls the voluntary actions such as change in the pupil, eyes, and reflex movement of the head. No, it is a little bit big. Now midbrain is control The voluntary actions such as the change in a pupil size, pupil, you know that it is a part of eyes and a reflex movement of the head, neck and trunk. Hindbrain, it is having the three part. Now cerebellum, it means control the posture and the balance, positioning of the voluntary actions, example picking the pen. And medulla, it control the involuntary actions, example blood pressure, salivation and the vomiting. Now we will move to the next slide, and our next slide is this slide number 5th, and here. Now I think it is visible for you. Now some hormones are also releases by our some glands which control help in a control of the body. Now thyroxine hormone, this hormone is secreted by the thyroid gland, and this is located in a neck throat region, and it regulates the metabolism of the carbohydrate, fat and protein. Now the growth hormone, it is secreted by the pituitary gland, that is called the master gland. This gland is located in the midbrain. It is regulate the growth and development. Now the endocrine gland, it is secrete the adrenal hormones, and adrenal gland, it is located above the both kidneys, and it regulates the blood pressure and heartbeat, carbohydrate metabolism during the emergency. Basically it means when we require the large amount of energy. Insulin, this is a hormone secreted by the pancreas. Pancreas is located in a stomach. It reduce and regulate the blood sugar level. Now the sex hormone, when we are going become adult, the sex hormones become active. And now testosterone in the male, this hormone is secreted by the testis, and the testis is located in a genital area, and it is change associated with the puberty. It means the hair growth in the sexual in the private part, and this hormone is only released in a man, and the estrogen in the female, this secreted by the ovary, and the ovary is located in the lower abdomen area. It is also change associated with the puberty. It means the it is responsible for the menstruation cycle. Now importance of iodine. Iodized salt is necessary because iodine mineral is essential for the thyroxine hormone secreted by the thyroid gland. As you know, the thyroxine regulate the metabolic activities of the carbohydrate, fat and protein. So we must consume the iodized salt, and which is necessary for the proper working of the thyroid gland. And deficiency is become the harmless for our body, and it is causes the disease like a goiter, swelling of the neck. Now diabetes. Diabetes is a disease which in which the blood sugar level get increased, and causes of the diabetes is this disease is caused due to the deficiency of the insulin hormone secreted by the pancreas. It is responsible to be control the blood sugar level, and the treatment of the diabetes, injection and some medicinal treatment, or some tablets are also available in the market to be control the diabetes. And as you know, now feedback mechanism to control the blood sugar level as follows. Sugar level in the body is arises. सबसे पहले we have to be discussed the sugar level gets increases in the blood, and detect by the cell pancreas will just detect this and synthesize the insulin hormone, and insulin hormone will be the blood sugar level becomes fall, and what happen now stop secreting the insulin hormone, because the insulin blood sugar level increase or decrease both are causes the diabetes. So we have to be manage it in a properly. If our pancreas releasing the insulin hormone in a proper way. Now we have to move to the next, the work of prawn. Prawns is a part of brain, as you know. It controls the involuntary actions, regulating the regulation of the respiration, protection of the brain and the spinal weight, protection of the brain. The brain is protected by a fluid filled in a balloon which is act as a sac observed and enclosed in a cranial. It means skull or a brain. It means there is some fluid is available between the brain and the skull, and protect the spinal cord. As you know, the spinal cord is inside the vertebral column, or we are calling it the backbone. So backbone are responsible to be protect our spinal cord. Now coordination between the nervous and the muscular tissue. For taking place of the voluntary actions, the brain has to send the message to the muscles. It means brain is sending the message to the muscles to control the body, control or how to react in a certain situation arises in the environment. Now the communication between the central nervous system and the other part of the body, facilitated by the peripheral nervous system consisting the cranial nervous system, arises from the brain and the spinal nerves arising from the spinal cord. It means the communication, brain is sending the signal to the spinal cord, and spinal cord is sending the signal to the peripheral nervous system, and that peripheral nervous system are sending the signals to the neuron cell, and as you know, with the help of dentine, this particular muscle will be receive the signal. Now next and the last slide from this chapter. Now I just zoom it because it is not readable till now. Now I think it is it's a little bit bigger, so we have to reduce the size. Now it's okay. As you know, wait, I just make it on the top. Now the brain allow us to think and take the action based on the thinking. This is a complex thought, complex design. As you know, first the sense, or we are receiving the signal from the sense organs. Multiple sense organs are working together, and the sense organs are observing the stimuli, and the sensory nerves, they are sending the signals to the sensory nerves, and the CNS, the central nervous system. Now look at this. I want to show you the biggest picture of this. Central nervous system receive the information and processed over it, and this preparing a response. It means generating a response. Then the muscles rearrangement of the muscles protein for the creating the chemical impulse. Then they are sending the response to the muscles. Now limitations of the electric communication and the nervous system. As you know, the electric impulse will reach only to those cells which is connected by the nervous tissue, and the rest of cells are just lagging behind with these facilities. After generating the transmission of the electric impulse, the cell takes some time to be reset this mechanism before transmitting to the another impulse, because electric impulse are converted into the chemical impulse, so it take time to be interchanged. The plant, and as you know, plant do not have any nervous system. Chemical communication, it help to overcoming the limitations of the electric communication. The reason behind the electric communication are further transmitted into the chemical. So the chemical finally we are sending the message with the chemical signals. So the chemical signals is having good transmission speed and the coordination in the plant. There are the three types of the movement in the plant, as you know: the independent of growth and dependent on growth. Now independent growth has the limited response to the stimuli, because it is independent, and they have to be respond very little in response when they are getting stimuli. Plant are A plant uses electrical chemical means to convey the information to the cell and to the cell. And now, for the movement to happen, the cell change their shape by changing the amount of water in them, and resulting the swelling and shrinking of the cell will be occur. Now, dropping down, dropping of the leaves of the touch me not is an example of independent growth. Now, dependent growth. The movement are the tropic movement, the direction of the movement towards the stimuli. Like as you know, the plant are always grow towards the sunlight. And the dendrine, tendrils is a part, tendrils away from the object grow more rapidly. It means it's a thread like structure basically, and basically found in a creepers as compared as a part of the near object. This causes a circulating of the tendrils around the object. It means they are just senses the object, and then start surrounding on the object. Now, phototropism, the movement towards the light, is as you know, it all plants are growing towards the light. Now, next is geotropism. Geotropism is the movement away from the movement toward or away from the gravity. As you know, the plant are growing in a both direction, in the towards the gravity of roots are growing towards the gravity, and the shoot is going towards the opposite of the gravity. Now, trop- cryptotropism, it means growth of the pollen tube towards the ovule to catch the for doing the fertilization. And the hydrotropism, it means movement towards the water, is also occur. Now, plant hormone, there are the chemical compound which are coordinate the growth, development and respond to towards the environment. The main plant hormones are auxin, it means the hormone synthesized at the shoot tip. It help to be grow the longer, and it respond it give the response to grow the plant towards the sunlight. And now, gabrilin, it help to be growth of the stem. Growth of the stem will be initiated by the gabrilin. And cytokinin, it means it promote the growth of the cell division. The presence the great concentration in the food and the seed. And the abscisic acid, it means it inhibit the growth. It is also wilting of the leaves and known as the stress hormones. And now next, also there are also there are growth hormone, endocrine. These are the growth hormone in the human being. Endocrine gland, this gland is secrete and produce a hormone into the blood, and the main organ release the hormones. And now next, this is the list of the endocrine gland with the hormones name and the functioning of are given below. It means you have to be just take a pick if you want. These are some hormones in a male and the females. Both diagram are given, and the hormones glands along with the hormones, the picture is given here. And we already discussed about the hormones. So that's all about today's class. Now have a nice day, and if you like the video, please share the video and press the like button. Now thank you so much for your precious time.